Only the brave and the courageous will challenge the Nigerian judiciary system and still remain undeterred, unperturbed, just as we have Nnamdi Kanu. Earlier today, we saw in Nnamdi Kanu where he challenged the Nigerian system that it is long overdue that he expects justice to be served to him. Now, this justice simply means maybe he will be sentenced. And don't forget, this man has spent roughly 4 years. Or he will be freed and, of course, duly compensated as expected. I, as a person who has been a latest follower of Nnamdi Kanu, this is a man who has proven not to have any form of godfather. This man is only being driven. He's only being driven by the ideology and love that he has for his people. His actions are very clear and well articulated. Nigeria as a state cannot exist. Nigeria as a state is a mirage, a facade, a mistake that ought never to have happened. And as we can see today, that the Nigerian state, instead of advancing democratically, instead of progressing economically, instead of, inventing and innovating in technology, what we have seen is all retrogression, backwardness, stagnancy, destruction of lives and properties. I mean, these have always been the words of Nnamdi Kanu. For every day, Nnamdi Kanu seems to be vindicated. As days goes by, he keeps winning people. He keeps winning fans. His followership keeps growing instead of dwindling. You know why? Because his fight for freedom is driven by genuinity, integrity, and most importantly, by an ideology that is solidified. What were the demands of Nnamdi Kanu? Very simple demands from the Nigerian state. First and foremost, let the Southeast have a seaport. Secondly, let them have a free or cheap public health, institutions. Let us have public educations that are accessible by the children of the poor. Let them have a regional police. Let the Southeast have a larger share to the resources they find under their soil. How are these things hard to solve? But instead of the Nigerian state to yield to these demands, you know what they did? They had to frame Nnamdi up. They framed him up, they pushed him to the wall. The Nigerian state started pushing the Fulani herders into the southeast. It provoked Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu sought the help of the eastern governors. Let us have a regional, security outfit, like a vigilante group that will have a federal government backing. But lo and behold, the federal government under the Buhari regime neglected the Igbos. However, the Fulani herders were on a rampage, attacking villages, sacking people from their ancestral lands. These were the things that provoked Nnamdi Kanu because of the love. You see, Nigeria is a state wherein you are not supposed to love your community. What Nigeria as a state encourages is self-interest, self-centeredness, and just selfish gains. This is why you see anybody who tries to galvanize the interest of the people on a large scale is always annihilated, silenced, suppressed. These are always the issue that we have in Nigeria. Nigeria is a state that does not support collectivism. Nigeria is formed never to have an egalitarian society. Nigeria was actually formed on the basis of the elites who continue to suppress, to intimidate and oppress the masses. And this is why you see a person like Nnamdi Kanu, whom has been bribed in so many ways in the past. I mean, Nnamdi Kanu can decide tomorrow and just retract all his statements about the Nigerian government. He might decide to say that, okay, tomorrow, Nigeria is the best thing that happened to me after sliced bread. And I concede, I retract, I reverse everything that I've said. Okay, so I want to believe in one Nigeria now. And I think it is worth dying for Nigeria. I tell you, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu would not spend more than 3 days. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will become a very influential political figure in APC, to speak. To be specific, he will become a very, very prominent figure in the Southeast. In fact, he will have unending access to the president. He will be given all manner of oil wells because he has chosen to resign on his ideology. But this is a man who is not being driven by any man of godfatherism. He is simply driven by the love he has for his people. And he believes that there's nothing that supersedes freedom. All tribes in Nigeria are trapped. There's nobody, not one single tribe. Maybe I can say the Fulanis. Yeah, maybe I can exempt them. Because the Fulani seems to have a superior kind of standard or status above every other tribe. But aside the Fulanis, all other tribes are trapped. They are hindered. Their progress is stunted. No region can come out conveniently and challenge the federal government, challenge where they disagree with in the constitution, and get what they want. You will see massive invasion of soldiers. I mean, is this not what we saw in River State, wherein a German has been sacked? In fact, he had to abscond. Fubara had to abscond for his dear life. Him and his children, they in the middle of the night ran for their dear life, like thieves in the night. So even in Nnamdi Kanu's case, ideology is purely driven. It's purely driven because he loves his people. It's driven because of his genuity, because of integrity. But I have also equally seen some Igbo men, and of course some Yoruba men, who have come out to speak down on this man. There's one thing so many young Nigerians have become. They have become men and women of inferiority complex. They have become humans who believe that they have to run and go and slave away their life to make hard currencies. What does that mean? To go and make dollars and pounds? They would not believe that their struggle can liberate their country. The country of their dream. That's what I mean. So apparently, these youths will look at a Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and they'll question him that he is being sponsored, that in fact is being used as a political distraction by Tinubu. Some people will say that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a spoiler of the Igbo presidency agenda. You know, I mean, I don't care if an Igbo man becomes a president. If a Yoruba man becomes a president, the point is, what ideology are you being driven by? Is the ideology to see a country that moves forward? If that is the case, then you must understand that you cannot disagree with the ideology of Nnamdi Kanu. There is no politician. If Awolowo was alive today, Awolowo would have been a mentor of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, Awolowo would have been a man who is speaking in the interest of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Because Awolowo was a man who believed that Nigeria is not a country, it's just a country on paper. We are people of different culture, of different way of thinking, thought process. So therefore, at best, or at minimum, we should operate at regional levels, which is, let us operate as a confederation, wherein we are going to have regional premiers, and then we might now have a central president who is not powerful. we would be able to respect each other. The Fulanis will not have any temerity to encroach my own land in the west or encroach the Igbo lands in the east, knowing fully well that the police securing my region are not in any way affiliated to them. But you can see the Fulanis will interrogate, they will, they will just integrate and invade your land because they know that the army and soldiers and police customs who are supposed to apprehend them are their own fellow Fulani brothers. And this is why you can see that the level of impunity, the level of inequality, the level of injustice in Nigeria today will always be a thing of discussion. And this is why Nnamdi Kanu, as it were, will eventually get justice, whether now or tomorrow. It is a certain thing that will come because the Nigerian system have no case against this brilliant young man. Thank you. Bye for now. Mr. Ralph, your brothers in the Bonny Island, let me say the Kalabari Kingdom, are today saying that they will never go into any form of transactions with the Yoruba. This is a particular statement released by Asari Dokubo, looking at what is going on in River State, how Fubara has been suppressed, intimidated, and bullied.
Yes.
It seems that it just happens to be the weakling in the Biafran struggle.
Anyway, they are not weakling when they say they're not going to go into any pact, agreement, or deal with the Yorubas. We'll actually find out that they are much aggrieved over what happened to Jonathan Goodluck in the past. Because how the Yoruba, the Southwest, destabilized Jonathan regime and handed Jonathan's mandate to Buhari is still very infuriating to the people of Ijaw Kingdom. And again, I want to tell you about my people in River State. Igbos dominate the whole River State. Ikwere. Then when you talk about Opobo, Opobo is Igbo. Opobo land is Igbo. Mixed with Kalabari, Ijaw. Kalabari and Ijaw. And no Opobo man doesn't understand the Igbo language. Fubara is an Igbo man. Fubara is from Opobo. Ijaw, Igbo, Kalabari is in his blood. So what is happening now is that Nigeria is sitting on the keg of gunpowder. Because I know that the Opobo I know are the Igbos. The Ijaw I know are largely Igbos. The same tradition. The only thing different is choral life. Choral life. That's a life of, riverine, along the sea. They live there, they farm there, they marry there, they build their thatched house on top of water. Everything choral is all about water life. Water. They drink water, they eat water, they swim water. They made money from water because by fishing they survive. So these people, they live choral life, and Igbos are not like that. Igbos are farmers, Igbos are businessmen, Igbos everywhere when you talk about business.
But you guys are still brothers.
But we are still brothers. We have a name for them. They speak Igbo. They are our brothers. We call them Isabo. Another man will tell you, say, not Ijaw. We don't know about Ijaw. Isabo, they call them Isabo. So these are Isabo people. They fish on the river Rhine area, bring up their fish, come out with all their proceedings and sell it to us. We buy. We intermarry. So they are not different people with us, from us. It was only the policy and the politics of the Fulanis that actually make it begins to look like division. We are in division or, at, opposition or with each other. No, we and the Ijaw, we are the same. In our farmland today in Anambra is river. Everywhere is river. You cultivate rice, you cultivate yam, and that Omabala Anambra river is very big. Empty into River Niger. Anambra and River Niger, they get branch, they get border. So the people that are farming on that river area, living there for many years, they are the Sabo people, Ijaw. As they are doing, now so they go join Imo River. Now so the fish go join River State. All those tributaries, all those branches of rivers that enter into Atlantic. Now so all of them, they are the Sabo people. We call them a Sabo. So they are not different from Igbo people. What I'm trying to say is that forget about the threatening of Asari Dokubo. Is not the main person. The person of the interest are the Jaws. I don't know what I understand. In the Opobo land, the Ikweres, the Eche, the Igbo them. All of them are the person of interest. If you are just focusing on Asari Dokubo, you are making a big mistake. He is a dog that bark and bark. After barking, he doesn't do anything. A barking dog doesn't bite. Lie talk. A barking dog when they bark, whoa, whoa, you know they bite. When they bite, I see they bark, whoa, you go to look. You get some person where you go see, you go run hide in mouth. But if you see dog when no they bark, a dog when no they bark, waste on his own. No near am. No near am. If he snarl and grow and roar, it roars like lion now. It will jump on you and tear you. Forget about Asari Dokubo. Asari Dokubo is a barking dog that seldom bites. You know, say it's an English proverb. A barking dog never bites. That word seldom is never. A barking dog seldom bites. Seldom, S-E-L-D-O-M, is never. And it's an adage in English language. A barking dog seldom bites. A barking dog does not bite. Asari Dokubo is a barking dog that seldom bites.
So you're saying footballer should never put his hope and trust
on them.
On footballer should not put his hope on Asari Dokubo.
Asari Dokubo is a bloated bread, not even touched or eating some part of it anyway. A bread that just fall inside water and they started floating. As it floats, it gathers water. Why? While swelling up. At the end of the day, if you touch them, no bread, everything will burst into nothing. Asari Dokubo is like a rolling stone that gathers no moss. You don't fall, yakata, nothing there inside. After fighting Yoruba, he fight only Tinubu, he fight Aso Rock. After fighting Nnamdi, he start fighting Igbo, wedding gun, surrendering Igbo, threatening them with AK-47. What kind of human being is he? A barking dog that never bites. That is whom he is.
All right, thank you very much for that brilliant submission.